Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Happy Monday night to everybody jumping on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at. Ryan, what's up, man? That's the championship dad over there.
I'm here, dude. I know, right? I skipped the Chickamauga tournament and skipped my buddy's birthday in Texas and told my daughter if they won, I would stay. And they literally went undefeated and didn't lose a set all weekend and ran on them girls. It was awesome. Yeah. I love seeing it.
That's cool, man. That's good times. I miss the days of my boys playing those sports. So
I don't think there's anything happier. Like if I could trade all this fishing stuff for watching her be successful at something, I'd give it all up tomorrow. And we see that in this sport with the father-son teams. I think of Jim and Jackson, or him watching Jackson be so successful. Like you'd give it all up to watch your kids just crush it at something. I think that's part of why we jump in on all the kids charity stuff that we do, because that I think that means more than anything on this planet. I love it.
Yeah, and you don't really appreciate it till it's gone. I got little Roro on the come up. Maybe she'll be volleyball or lacrosse.
You got her doing a crossover yet?
Yeah, no. Justin's
she's still getting used to them shoes, ain't she?
Yeah, she's running now though. But I miss that, man. I miss a lot of time with my boys. So if you got kids at home still and they're in sports, enjoy that time, whether it's fishing, sports, hunting, whatever you're doing. It's amazing stuff. But yeah, we're here tonight to talk about a little bit of fishing with the Native No Limit series kicking off. Solid start, over 100 anglers again. I think 133 if I had that right.
Yep.
And it was the story of that series, which I love. Tyler Phillips, the winner of the overall. He also won Tennessee Bass Nation, double dip over there. Winner of the overall, caught him up. And then Dan Catron, we have him on, who caught the 24-inch tank to take big bass in both events as well. So
that's the thing about Chickamauga in March. I told Vinny, I was like, it's early for like a grand slam kind of bite, but it's perfect for a big bass deal. Like March is when they got the feed bags on. You can catch, a fish of a lifetime there.
Yeah. My man Elvis Lee is in the comments. He was he was on the verge of trying to win big bass, and then he got beat out of not only big bass, but the hourly. Dan's big and came in the same hour and knocked him out.
That's depressing. When you see somebody throw a 24 up in your hour.
Yeah. But sorry, Elvis. Still impressive fish.
Bob, I see your comment there. We ain't fishing for second in Tennessee, so I'm glad a Minnesota boy got second, but unfortunately, Tennessee's fishing to win.
Yeah. We got some folks still climbing in. We got a couple on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube as well. I don't see the Twitchers yet. You said you met the Twitcher at Murray.
I told you I met the Twitcher at Lake Murray, man. He came up and that's how he introduced himself. He's like, "I'm your Twitcher," and I was like, "Yeah, all right, I like that."
Him, are you going to murder me now, or would you ask?
No, he was fantastic. He didn't even put up with my shenanigans very long.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. We appreciate wherever you're watching from. We're over on those other platforms as well, whether it's Instagram, Rumble, LinkedIn, all these places that Ryan didn't want us to be or didn't even know that we're at.
Yeah, I don't even know they're there, man.
Yeah, but if you're there, we would encourage you to slide over to one of these other 4 where we can see your comments, because we're going to do a giveaway. We do a giveaway every night. Tonight is Z-Man. We got an update about prior Z-Man giveaways, right, Ryan?
Yes. So I sent all the winners' information over to my boy Ryan Harder. He sent me photo confirmation with shipping labels. They are out on their way to you. Thank you, Ryan Harder, for squaring things up. Appreciate it.
There we go. So we're doing a Z-Man giveaway tonight to celebrate being all the way caught up on the Z-Man giveaway.
So I'm going to email him tomorrow. That way he can ship out one more.
Yeah. So good stuff there. Pretty cool prize pack they'll send to you. So all you got to do to get in on it is the same old deal on Facebook. Like and share on Facebook, and then like and comment on the other 3 platforms. Pretty simple.
What about Fork? Did you pay attention to Fork? Holy cow. Man, they put up some monster bags in the Bassmaster Elites out there. That was nuts. A 19-year-old won it.
Dude, Fork will always be my favorite lake. It's the very first lake I ever fished a big kayak tournament at, and it's pretty close to here. And I love Lake Fork. I love Lake Fork. It can be finicky at times, but it was not finicky this past week.
No, they smashed them. I watched a lot of the video recaps from that. They tore them up. It was awesome.
Yeah, and how many people broke the entire top 10? Broke the 100-pound mark, and the kid had 133 pounds, 135 pounds, something like that.
And crushed it.
Yeah, unbelievable. 19-year-old kid. The young guys dominate, man, and it was all about that. It was all about that scope. I know that's a hot topic people are getting pissed off about, but hey, they had them in the right spots. They had that scope magic working. So there you go.
I saw some of these guys' rigs, man. They're running like dual transducers up front, 2 transducers off the back. They literally have the entire 360 view of the boat covered in live. That's nuts. Yeah, James just commented he broke a rod and boat flipped a 6-pounder. I watched that clip earlier today. That was impressive. He said, "I'm a boat flipper with old pistol grip." He sure did. That was nuts.
The other young guy, Justin Hammer, caught the biggest fish ever caught on live. Did you see that clip? He caught it while they were on him with the camera live. Caught an 11-pounder on cam. It was I think he was calling a 3 with it. So
that's crazy.
Quite a catch on camera live, not recorded.
Shout out to the old folks though. Our boy Tim Isaacs, man. I love Tim Isaacs. If you haven't met Tim, you need to. He looks like he's the grouchiest man on earth. He's really happy-go-lucky and hilarious. He went back-to-back in the KBF Murray event. Won the Saturday and Sunday trail stops out there. So shout out to Tim. I know we don't cover KBF much, but shout out to Tim, man. I ain't gonna leave him in the dark. That was awesome.
Yeah, they were backed up to the other Murray event, and the attendance reflected, I would say. But hey, still fishing's fishing. They caught him up. I know our guest from last week, Ryan Matelovich, I think I said it right this time, came in second again on one of those days after finishing runner up in the Bass Nation event. And then my teammate, my old town teammate over there, Jimmy, Tennessee boy, McClurkin, finished second one of those days too.
Yeah.
So good stuff over there. Well done, fellas. I talked to Travis, Ryan. I was going to have Travis on to start the show. Travis from Eco Fishing. They've got the date almost locked down for the Big Bass 250. I told him we wanted to kind of build some momentum for that early.
Oh yeah.
So he was going to come on this week. He's not quite ready. Here in the next week or two, we'll have him on, and we'll announce the date for the 250. Try to start simmering the pot a little bit on that. I think we can get the nation to show up for that. And maybe push that thing up close to the 250.
We'll have a fun time at that one for sure.
Yeah. What's coming soon here? We'll get to the sponsors and get our guests in.
Logan Martin, BOS. Logan Martin is this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming right up this weekend. I was actually planning on going to that, but you probably saw on Facebook we're selling and buying a house. So
I did. I saw you're moving to the country. Old Jeff's gonna be a country boy.
Nah, that's Ashley. Ashley's calling it the country.
No,
Ashley's calling it's further away from town than we're at, but it's it's a few minutes from the country club, a few minutes from the boat ramp. It ain't really
from the country club.
Yeah, all right. it ain't really the country. It's just up in the sticks up there, but. It's a little further from town, but no, it isn't really country living. But we're gonna love it up there, close to Revo. But
I'll send you some cowboy boots. You'll be fine.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Logan Martin this weekend. Then pretty close. What are we 2-3 weeks out from the Bass Nation Championship, Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship on 10 kilo? Are you coming over to the expo and all that?
I'm planning on coming to the expo. So cross your fingers. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see what we got going.
If you go, I'll go.
All right, deal.
I can actually just drive over though. I can just drive over though. Good stuff. Okay, well, let's get to the sponsors, man, and we'll get our two guests in here. I already talked about Travis with Eco. They sponsor the Big Bass 250, but Eco Fishing Shop, ecofishingshop.com is the presenter of the show. I've seen a lot of hype around the new canoes. A lot of people do Hobies. Of course, Old Town's out there. They've got them all. They got them all up there at Eco, and they get them straight to your door, untouched, uncracked.
Yep, uncracked.
Yeah, undamaged to your door. So get with Eco Fishing, ecofishingshop.com. And if you need to rig them and you're not close by to them, you can get on the horn and they'll help you rig them out. Ryan's got a cup full of Western Sun, maybe right there, Ryan. What do you got there?
I do have a cup full of Western Sun, so that's fantastic.
Trying to ease the pain from the week, or not the pain, still celebrating the weekend.
Oh yeah, we're celebrating this week. Ain't no pain.
Yeah, I got pain from watching the Razorbacks get housed by Kentucky again. But
you're a Tennessee fan now, remember?
That's right, except for baseball. Until we suck at baseball, then I'm out. Pro Guide Lithium. I saw Pro Guide's been on the socials lately, pushing a bunch of content out over there on Instagram and things. But beyond that, just it's about the best battery you can go get. I talk about it all the time in here. Don't get on Amazon and buy something cheap where you're gonna have to go buy 3 or 4 of them. Go buy a quality battery to start with. For the love of God, please buy quality.
Don't burn your Airbnb down trying to charge one.
Yeah. And then tonight we already talked about it's Z-Man night. Did Revo last week. Seagar will be coming up next here soon. And then Gill gear. I plan on busting out the Gill gear, but except it's been hotter than heck around here, Ryan. I need to get a lightweight set of Gill gear.
I know we're on a warming trend. I did bust it out there on Murray, man. It was windy. Boy, it was windy and cold out there.
Yeah. So go get you some Gill gear. Use that KB Nation 25 to save some big bucks. Big tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars even over there on the Gill gear.
Tens of dollars.
Get
a hat. Save tens of dollars.
Yeah. All right. But hey, let's get these guests in here, man. We got Tyler and Dan patiently waiting. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Little richer. Feeling a little richer tonight, the both of you?
Yeah.
Dan, is that 24 going to go on the wall behind you there?
I was so stoked when I caught it that I didn't even get girth measurements or a clean picture with my hand off of the fish. So
just make it up, man. Free ball.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
I would just make it.
Ain't nobody gonna know when they pull up at the house.
I got it on video, so that'll be going up on the YouTube channel. But I didn't get the hook set. I wasn't recording, but I got the net job.
Yeah, I'm that way a lot. I'll set the hook and then I'll turn the camera on.
Yeah.
After I know there's a fish there, so I hadn't wasted all that time.
Yeah, I caught 3 huge drum, like 2 of the biggest drum I ever caught in my life. So I wasn't really thinking of the bass anyway.
Chick is known for a quality drum population.
Yeah.
If you've never fished it.
So is Old Hickory and Percy Priest.
That's the truth. Tyler, you waxed them pretty handily there. What, have you fished Chick a lot? Like what was your experience level and mindset going into this tournament?
This time of year, this is only like my second time fishing Chick. It fishes a lot like Gunnersville, in my opinion, in the summer. But I won the GSM tournament on Gunnersville a couple weeks ago. So my plan was to go find some grass and throw a trap, and didn't find any grass. And left work early Friday, got down about 2:00. It was pouring the rain, foggy, and caught 90 inches in like an hour. So I was like, okay. So, and along with 7 or 8 drum. So I thought, well, I'll start here in the morning to see what happens. And, I didn't even touch the bank all day. I stayed out in the middle scoping.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Were you scoping, fishing for suspended fish?
I was.
And that's what, if you don't remember, we had the Bassmaster Championship on Chick last year, and that's how Ewing waxed them day 2. He was just scoping, finding solitary suspended fish, and really went to work on them. Is that kind of similar to your approach?
I was finding more. The bigger fish that I did catch were by themselves, but all the the smaller 16s and 17s and 18s were in schools of 3 to 6, and they wasn't deep. They were 2 to 10 foot of water, and they were just going from pot of shad to pot of shad.
Feeding up. Classic wintertime pattern.
I like to ask this every time we have the last couple of years since this series started, have the winners, top finishers, big bass winners from this native series on. What did you think of the format? Because it's completely different from what we normally do, best 5, even though there was a double dip, and we'll talk about that. But what did you guys think of the format? Dan, you got to love it because you hit that one biggin.
Yeah.
That one biggin at one.
Yeah, I was watching, I've been paying attention to the native stuff, and I work a lot, so it's kind of hard to get out to a lot of the events. So to see them come and do one with Tennessee Bass Nation, I was super, super happy to do that for sure. It was like Lambert was saying, I didn't know the 24 was still going to hold up because it's chick, man. Somebody could have most definitely got a 24 and a bigger kicker, because my kicker was a 12 and a quarter.
Oh. How did your day go, Dan? Talk us through, kind of what you found on the lake, what you were looking for going into it.
I didn't get any pre-fishing, actually. I came down after work, had a couple of friends tell me, some water clarity and some temps, and we had that front push through. So I knew that was going to screw me up. And plus, man, I hate winter pool lakes. Not my strong suit. It always throws me off. Dale Hollow always gets me. Priest always does the same thing. So I got there at about 12:30. Started unloading the truck, and the sheriff rolled up on me and was like, he was super cool, but he was like, just be careful of hoodlums around here. And I was like, all right, appreciate it. Can I stay here at the boat ramp? Because it's 1 o'clock and I'm not leaving really. So I ran across basically where we put in. I ran across the lake, and I was just looking for some submerged timber or something like that, because going in blind, and I threw the scope down and finding structure and throwing at it. Where I caught that 24, I wasn't scoping at the moment, but I was running over, and on my down scan I saw a bunch of brush piles, lay down timber and stuff in about 10 to 16 foot. Put the scope down and found one big stump that was probably about 3 or 4 feet high. And I just kept bouncing a jig over that sucker. And I saw a blob. I was like, well, there's a drum, and it came down and just ticked it, and it was on. But that's about it. I caught the 12 and a quarter, and I lay down with a shaky head. So every other drum came on a jig.
Every other drum. If you're looking for that drum pattern, throw a jig.
Yeah, for sure. Watch out, Bubba.
Yeah. So Tyler, what did you think of the format, man? I mean, obviously you were double dipping tournaments, but this format kind of can change things for people. What did you think of the format?
I love the no limit thing. I actually missed the event on Gunnersville last year to fish a bass boat tournament here on my home lake at Center Hill. And my buddy Jesse was like, I don't know why you did not fish this, because I come down the next weekend or 2 weeks after for the Bass Nation Championship and caught 304 inches in the first day. And he was like, you're an idiot. And so I thought, okay, this year they come around, I'm definitely fishing some of them.
I think you checked that one off the bucket list there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like 70 inches.
And I mean, I think it's even more fun when they have them on these kind of, storied traditional big bass lakes. I think that's an even bigger draw for people, coming into this stuff, because even if you don't have time to pre-fish, or, you don't have a lot of experience on the water, the likelihood of you bumping into a good fish is pretty high on these, traditional big bass lakes.
Right.
We got Elvis Lee in the comments saying he launched at the same ramp as Dan. Told you that he just caught a 23, and he said you dropped the 24 right on his head right there.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, man. I'm sorry, bro. He's capacity, and I was like, "That's cool. I caught a 24."
Sorry, Elvis.
Power, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy.
That's awesome. That's how it goes. Every cast up there could be a giant.
Crushed his soul there. I'm sorry, bud. God, I felt like a dickhead after I found that out, though.
Oh no, Elvis.
Well, that's all right. I mean, you know, if the shoe fits, you got.
Sometimes it does.
Oh, what did you get out of that, Dan? What did that 124 send you home with?
Obviously, a little bit of hardware.
Yeah,
$1,000 and a new native 12.5 Titan X. Yeah,
there you go.
well, it's going up for sale. I'm buying a house as well, so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 Hobies, so I don't need another one at the moment.
And these houses ain't cheap these days, Dan.
No, man. I live up in Springfield, Tennessee, which is about 30 miles north of Nashville, and even the prices up here now are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't go anywhere without paying $300,000 for basically a porta-john.
Love it.
Which is probably where I'm going to end up.
It's true. So Tyler, you obviously housed them in the native event, but you also won the 5-fish limit event. Did fishing both of those? Did you just say I'm catching everything I can, and if it works out in the other one, I'm good, or did you have any kind of dual strategy going to try to capitalize on the 5-fish event as well?
Well, as being a scoper, I know that I can catch bigger fish scoping when they're set up to scope. But in the same point, a lot of people were out there scoping within like 20 yards of me. I had 3 or 4 guys sit around me all day, and most of them were throwing big giant baits, fishing for that, 1 hour bass. But they wasn't catching quantity. And I think they had seen so many big giant baits that they wanted something small, and I throwed something small all day.
And if you watch a lot of these tournaments that are live televised, 90% of those guys have a spinning rod in their hand. Like they're throwing, like a small jig head with a spunk shad or some kind of minnow imitation, super small bait. And they're catching like Milliken, like he's out, waxing giants with these super small baits. You don't have to throw giant baits to catch big fish. Does it increase your likelihood to get one big one throughout a day? I think that was more applicable in the days of beating the bank and stuff, fishing laydowns and whatnot, throwing a big glide bait. But I think, for these fish that are pressured now offshore with live scope, I think that finesse approach seems to be a lot more productive.
Yep.
I mean, I had a glide bait tied on, but it never saw water that day. So
did you stick to the jig all day, or did you mix it up a little bit?
Mixed it up, man. I retied on some different colors and all kinds of stuff, but I just couldn't. Where I was at, I just, bad spot. Not pre-fishing, I think, is really going to. And I'm working so much, I'm not going to be able to do any of the KBFTN club events. I'm just solely concentrating on Tennessee Bass Nation, try to make it to that championship. Yep. But yeah, I changed up colors, threw a spy bait even on some mud flats. Saw them come up off the bottom, slow rolling it, and I still couldn't get fish. I don't know. I'm not that good of an angler. I like Tyler.
That's one of the most frustrating parts for me fishing live scope is watching the fish follow the bait. Like they, be it, a small minnow bait or a shaky head or an A-rig, watching them come up and get right up on the bait and not commit to it. It makes you feel like an idiot.
Oh, yeah. And I threw everything from little some mid-strolling stuff. And I mean, I threw everything at these things and, just watching them follow it and turn around. I was like, well, even with a scope proves that I can't catch a limit. Shit.
I couldn't even catch a fish at Murray, so I can't say nothing.
I saw a little bit. I saw some of that. Technical difficulties and all kinds of stuff.
Shit, I had every difficulty you could find up there, pal. That was rough.
I think that's why a lot of people complain about live scope. I mean, they don't have it, but they don't realize how many fish that just will absolutely swerve you all day long. It's just unreal.
You still got to be good at catching them. It doesn't matter if you got a scope or not. Looking at them does not make you catch the fish. They don't know they're supposed to bite just because you're watching.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Every time we start talking scope, we kind of get off into a thing about live scope. But I will ask you this, because we just talked about Fort before you guys came into the live stream, and what was going on there. It's been going on in some of the other lakes. Is there going to be a point, just like every other technique and bait and everything else, that fish will be conditioned to that, to where it won't be as effective, or is it just going to keep getting better and better and better?
Go ahead.
I don't know, because I mean, this is my second year scoping, and I think that you develop the way that you fish with a scope, and you'll learn new techniques to get those fish to bite. Last spring, I scoped so many fish with a jerk bait, scoped 2 over 9 pounds with a jerk bait. And didn't really know to throw a Demiki rig, didn't know what all the hype was. And you learn different stuff to throw at them besides a jerk bait and a Demiki rig and an A rig. And I mean, yeah, I guess they could get conditioned. Maybe some of the fish that do get caught, but I mean, I caught some this weekend that had one whole side of their mouth ripped off. So, they've been caught before.
Yeah, you're on Chickamauga. That's home of the retreads, baby. You'll catch them idiots a week after a tournament in Chester Cross. They'll be hanging out by the boat ramp where they just got released, waiting to eat again. They don't care.
I think it'll get better, man. I mean, it's technology, As far as condition, one thing that's proved to me with live scope is there's fish everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, dude, I can't turn that thing around without seeing fish. It's like, and when you don't see fish, and then you throw something right across a mud flat, and they blob up right there. It's like, well, there wasn't any fish out here, but obviously there's fish. So
yeah,
some sort. I don't know what they were, because I can't catch them. So
they weren't that hidden, were they?
No.
Over on YouTube, J Mac Outdoors said, so Dan uses forward facing to find structure, and Tyler targets the bass. I think maybe they were just talking about for this specific instance, but I mean, I guess you both can go into how you use it, not just for fish, but looking at structure as well, structure and cover.
That's what I mean, I've only been using it not even on the end of last season. Used it at a couple events, but kind of kept it off the side, because it was more distracting for me at that moment during an event to waste time. So I just put it down for the end of the season last year, even though it was on the boat. If I caught a limit, which was rare, I would put it out and try to get some stuff. But I try to use that 2D and my, not 2D, but down scan and my side scan, and find that stuff, and then put that scope down and kind of see what's moving around. I like using it on bluff walls myself to see what's hanging out there.
I use it for both as well. I don't run any kind of side imaging or down imaging. I strictly scope, especially if I'm going somewhere new. I feel like it's just as easy for me to drive down the bank and look at something instead of wasting time side scanning or down scanning. And you can stop and actually stare at a brush pile and see if there's a fish, or throw something at it and see if a fish comes out. But yes, it is very helpful to find structure, and sometimes see it better on the scope than you can with side scan.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sitting here looking at your limit, Tyler, and we've always heard that when you get on a school of fish or a group of fish, a lot of times they'll run in packs about the same size. With forward facing sonar, are you able to verify that? Like when you started catching these 16 to 15 to 16 size fish, does that verify? Yeah, they are in packs of about the same size with occasional.
Yeah, most of my bigger fish were all singles. The 21 and a quarter, there was literally 2 sitting about 10 feet apart, and I thought, well, here goes another drum, and I threw it out there at it, and my buddy Eric was sitting right behind me, and I was like, yep, I got another drum, and then I was like, wait, it's coming up, and it come up and jumped out of the water, and it was 8-pounder. It was crazy.
I think pick up the kayak yesterday, and my buddy Don did an average on your fish, Tyler, and I think your average fish was 17 and some change.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know, man.
Oof.
That thing's a stud.
That's a healthy one.
Oh yeah.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, that's a chunk right there, man. Jeez.
Yeah, felt good, man. That's a PB for me.
Congrats.
I'd say that's a PB for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You have a hard time breaking the 24-inch mark.
Yeah, I mean I've been fishing a long time, man, and that's it's going to probably be a long time. Lake, Fork, or Florida to beat that.
Yeah.
It can be. I mean, it can be done. We've seen it. We've seen 24 pluses on Chick. I think Gunnersville's turned out a couple 24 pluses. They're around, but they're not near as common as the big bass capitals like Texas and Florida.
Well, I was fishing that Bill Lewis rattle trap with Tyler down there, and I did end up catching a 20 and something. I think I tied with two or three other guys for big bass on that one too. But that whole day I'd only caught 2 fish, so I don't know what it is with big bass and 2 fish with me, right?
I was gonna say you got that part dialed in, don't you?
Yeah, man. Give me the money on a big bass, I'll take it. Makes sleeping in the truck worth it, I guess.
Hey, if you can't get to the ramp to the day before, you got to do what you got to do.
Do it, man. Yeah, for sure.
So we talked about this being a double dip event. We can touch on the Tennessee Bass Nation event as well. Tyler, you won that, but it wasn't the wide margin of victory like it was in the native event. You had Luke Graham breathing down your neck.
As usual.
Yeah, he was on them smallies. He was breathing down your neck. So, and it's funny looking at this. I'm going to throw this back on the screen. Because you were killing it in the native event. You look at his limit, Ryan. He's got 5 plus 10 on the on the coal list over there. So, how many times do you think you coaled? Really? I mean, 5 plus 10.
I'd started out the day, and by 8 o'clock, I had a limit, but they were all like 15s and 16s, and I just slowly upgraded throughout the day. But yeah, I was very fortunate to catch 5 good fish for the Bass Nation. And if I knew I was going to do that good, I would have dipped in the other 2 tournaments, and I would have won both of those 3 fish. I had 61. I think I had 61 and a quarter or 61 and a half inches with 3.
Yeah, you would have probably cashed a check in every one of those, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to gamble, so I'm throwing money at everybody.
Well, I'm going to the Bassmaster, the Classic in Oklahoma, so I was trying to pinch a few pennies along the way.
You got a few extra pennies on you now. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You ever been over to 10 killer, Tyler?
I have not.
Go over and scope you some big Tennessee River smallmouth out of there.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot
right
of fun,
home.
I feel like.
And the funny thing is, these past 2 big tournaments that I fished, I've went to the bait shop the night before and picked something out and won it on it both times.
That's for each tournament. I always, whether it's the bait shop at home or I try to do a local bait shop.
That's what I've done.
And spend $100 at every time. I feel like it's just me paying the lake.
Yeah.
That's my homage to the lake. Here's $100. Give me some good karma. It doesn't always work out.
We got a few questions from Facebook. Randy Creason over on Facebook asks, so do you guys use perspective mode at all? Either one of you can take it first.
I do not. I've never used it. I don't have a mount for it. I could see where it would help, but I just don't use it.
Same. I don't have a mount for it, but I've been wanting to play around with that for sure.
I actually just ordered one. They say it's good, I think 15 feet or less, but it basically just gives you that 180 view out in front of you instead of that, vertical cone that you're swinging back and forth. I think it's especially in the spring, I think it's applicable, but as you get into summertime, deeper water type stuff, I think the traditional vertical mount of the transducers, probably more better, I think.
Mo
But
better?
yeah, I was talking to the Sniper Marine guys, and they're like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you have it vertical, just twist your wrist a little faster and you can spin that thing around on both sides and see what's all the way around you. It's not like we're running, 15 miles an hour down through there. So I think you got plenty of time to swing the transducer around.
Well, I'll run mine down with about 4 miles an hour. It's probably not the safest in shallow water, but I like to gamble. I told you.
I think I'm the only one that I've ever seen. I have mine on my motor on the front.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yep.
You run an XI3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how bass boats do it. They'll mount
that's the way that's where I come from. So that was kind of what I was used to. And I feel more comfortable hitting a button to turn my motor than having to take my hand off my rod and turn a pole.
Yeah.
So maybe it's an advantage, maybe not.
Have you thought about running two units and two transducers to get the full 360 view? Or at least opposing views at 180 degrees, I guess. Probably not a 360 view if you're not running perspective.
Well, I had kind of bounced that off my wife today. With all this money that I've won, I was like, I really want to put a pole on the side and run another graph just for those windier days where I can spot lock and still use it. But I mean, to really think hard about it, I spend more time running and gunning after these fish than actually sitting in one spot and trying to scope a school because they're moving so fast. I mean, yeah, you go to Del Holla, you can sit in 75 or 80 feet of water over a school that's under shad and catch them sitting still. But most of the time, you're chasing schools of smallmouth or up shallower in the water column, and you're having to follow them. So I didn't really see the point. And she's wanting to get into kayak fishing, so I'm kind of leaning towards buying her a boat.
Hey, I got
Dan
one
has one for sale.
By Dan.
She didn't want a Titan. I think she wants a new canoe.
Does she? All right.
Vinny's in the comments. He about to be pissed.
Sorry, Vinny. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Sorry, Vinny, man. It was good to meet you.
That's awesome. What else we got over there? Oh, Elvis Lee, your buddy Elvis, Dan. He said, you guys running LVS 32s or 34s? Are you both running Garmin's?
Yes.
Okay.
34.
And I run a 32.
Okay. So
There
you can get the job done with the 32?
Oh, yeah.
I think it doesn't matter that much, really.
Yeah. You look at them side by side, man. You're seeing one slightly less pixelated blob than the other.
My buddy was like, I don't want to spend as much for the 34. I'm just going to go buy a 32. They got them on sale at Bass Pro. I said, do it. I was like,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's not much of a difference.
The only difference I see is the resolution in the screens, and I think that's what I'm fixing to upgrade.
Mm-hmm. That 34.
Go ahead.
I said that 34 is clear.
Yeah.
Good.
What you're seeing on the bass boat side is these guys going to those saltwater transducers that will allow you to see out even further, which that's kind of a topic for discussion. But, being out of a kayak, being that low on the water, your casting distance is significantly shorter than out of a bass boat anyway. So I think that probably does not cross over as well on the on the kayak side.
We had some discussions about all the, we mirror the boat world obviously with rods, reels, baits, even electronics to a point, but there's a line. We talked about it with Steve-O when he was on of getting dangerous when you start putting too much crap on your kayak, whether it's motors, graphs, batteries, everything else. So, what's the line? I mean, we can't be. What was that? Zaldangerous, Trait and Chris Zaldane's YouTube page. They went and did a overview of all the pros electronic setups, and there were 5-7 graphs, $50,000 worth of graphs.
Oh yeah, easy.
Kayak anglers are going to push, but I mean, you can't just keep loading graphs and batteries on these kayaks, right?
No, there's a weight limit. It's right there on the sticker.
Yeah, some of these fellers are little though, Ryan.
Hey, you can be little, but you still have to look at physics and, being too top heavy. When you dump about $8,000 worth of electronics, when you flip your kayak, you'll learn that lesson real quick. I feel like.
Yeah. I just bought another older.
What?
Just to keep it super basic and put a motor on the back, just a 403 or something, and just no graphs at all, and just run blind and just get back to some basics, man.
Like kayak fishing almost, except
yeah,
with a motor.
that thing that we used to call
bought me a boat to get back to the basics.
What we used to call kayak. I only put 2 motors on this one. I'm going back to the basics. I ain't doing all this newfangled shit.
No graphs on this. No, it's just going to be a river runner. I got a really good, I had to go to Indiana to get it, but it was like $1,000 for a 19 PA12. So I'm not going to complain too much.
All right.
I like it. I got the Outback sitting out there for a little bit of river running.
Nice.
It will probably catch a Newport when I do go to take it out. Once you start running a motor, I feel like I don't ever want to fish without one now.
Yeah, so. my arms and elbows are screwed up from tattooing and paddling for years anyway. So motors are making it a lot easier, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Blake Abbey, our KBN's own Blake Abbey. I was kind of curious if y'all still do that for fun. No, Blake, we don't.
No, it's all serious. Like, my man came in, he had another check cashing weekend.
I know, golly.
Jeez.
You talk about on fire. Oof.
What a legend. He is the epitome of the KBN mojo. That's what he is. I think he's doing that.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. Kayak fishing, fishing in general, it's a hot and cold deal. Like, it comes in waves. There are a few anglers that we see that are super consistent and always, in that top 10, in that check range. But for the most part, like, you'll get on a hot streak, and when you're on a hot streak, fish everything you can, because that is not by accident. Like, you have the hot hand. So keep it running, Blake.
See the gambler Dan, he's down there shaking his head. He's like, hot streak or not, throw it all in, baby.
I fish, with the KBFTN club. If you guys keep up with those guys, there's some hammers in this club. Josh Stewart, Russ Snyder, Adam Reiser, Paris Edwards, Ethan Jett.
Jett, yep.
Watch out for these guys, dude. I fish with all these bad motherfuckers, dude. Yep. It's like
steel sharpens steel, man. You don't get good by fishing against no competition.
That's true, man. I'm in a great club with those guys, and I'm kind of bummed I don't get to fish with them too much this year, but house is first priority, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm sitting down here filming this in somebody else's house. I don't know.
I like that chair you're in, by the way. It was flowery.
It's flamingos.
Flamingos? I thought it was like rose bushes or something.
No, it's pink flamingos. I like to get in touch with my feminine side for these shows.
That's amazing. Over on YouTube, J Mac Outdoors. For Tyler, how do you anchor it with it mounted on the trolling motor?
How do I anchor my troll? Well, I mean, okay, so say I pull up to a brush pile and I sit there and look at it. I can cast to it at least once or twice and kind of see where it's at and spot lock, and then just continue fishing it. Because a lot of times, if you're fishing a bottom bait, you're not going to see the fish eat it. But I just got spot lock. I've been running the regular XI3. And when I won the GSM tournament, I ordered the spot lock.
That's how you do it. You win, cast checks, upgrade equipment a little bit at a time.
Yeah, spot lock is clutch. I love, I ran the Newport for the past couple of years, but having spot lock, especially if you're fishing current or wind or, a single point or a brush pile or something, being able to just sit there and not worry about anything else. Mm-hmm. That, not drifting off, not pedaling back and forth. That was one of the hardest things for me. Like if you're fishing a school of fish offshore or something, was staying on them. And 10 times out of 10, I always forget a marker buoy. And if I do throw a marker buoy out, then every bass boat on the lake thinks that I threw a marker buoy out for them to come fish. Like that was some sort of invitation or something. So me and Siddiqui ran into that on Kentucky Lake, man. We had a marker buoy out and we would drift off of it, measuring a fish or whatever you have to do in a kayak. Hell, the bass boats just run right in on it. They're like, oh, there's a school of fish over here. This guy put this buoy out for us. Like, spot lock is huge. It's huge.
I run both.
Yeah, I agree.
But I have the Torpedoes, and I got the XI3 right here. And
Around here,
is the game changer, man. I wish I actually would have had it out there on Chick, because they were pulling some current, and at least where I was at, it was, if I just stopped being where I was at, it was moving me maybe a mile and a half a second. I was like, this sucks. Spot, so.
And do you guys, how do y'all feel about DP and kayaks? Do you think that's a thing that we will see in the future, running both motors, or do you think that's something that probably won't be allowed because it's too much?
Tyler, you want to go ahead?
Step in the bear trap, Tyler.
I considered it. I did consider it last year until I read the rules and cast where it says you couldn't, because I thought, man, I could have a 1103 on the back of this thing and haul ass across the lake and then just put my XI3 down and run smaller batteries and get away with a 60 amp hour deep cycle battery instead of 100 amp hour and have the best of both worlds. But of course the rules won't let you. So I went with the 100 amp hour lithium battery.
You heard it first. Kayak organizations are anti-DP, Ryan. Terrible.
Noted. Noted.
Well, I just got a
Put that on
kayak
t-shirt
too, so.
I don't know. I think that brings back into the point of overloading the vessel as far as weight requirements and stuff goes. I didn't run mine last week when we were down on Murray. I didn't put on the stern mount, obviously, but I had the bow mount. But still, when you go, you guys you're both fishing out of Hobies, right? So
Correct.
you have a propulsion backup, right? If you're going with the autopilot or a new canoe or something, if something happens with that motor or a battery goes dead, guess what your propulsion is? Yeah. It's a paddle. And nobody
That's what mine is.
Paddle. No one wants to paddle kayak fishing.
You don't run your pedal drive?
I do not carry my drive.
Really?
What? Why?
Nope.
You don't carry it at all?
You just plug that hole up?
You use the plug?
Oh yeah, I keep the cassette in it because I'm a big fat boy and it's in the way.
All right. So no DP, plugs only for Tyler. We got it.
He likes to gamble too.
Yeah, I do. I just trust my lithium battery. That's all I can say.
Do you have like a canoe oar out there with you, or do you have an actual paddle?
Oh, I've got the Hobie paddle that comes with it. Yeah.
Some people roll out there with like a wooden oar.
Sorry, boys.
Like that.
No. Well, I mean, most of the time, and I have went, 8 or 10 miles in a day, but 90% of the time, I mean, I was within sight of the ramp Saturday.
Really?
So, I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad paddle back.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of bass boat pressure? I know, and Jeff, maybe as a side project I can give you, if you can find that video that Marshall posted, why do I hate fishing Chickamauga? And it was like 20 boats within 50 yards of it. And that's pretty typical. When the bite's good on Chickamauga, it's loaded up. Like, everybody around Chick has a bass boat or two. Like, they're out there hunting for them,
No, I didn't have too many. I think I seen 15 or 20 throughout the day, but nobody was like right on top of me beside the one guy that tried to run me over.
Here's Marshall's video. It's just bass boat scoping.
You guys think that's a honey hole or what?
Looks like Del Holla.
That is a good area. I'm pretty sure. I haven't confirmed with Marshall on this. I could be speaking wrong, but I think that's where I waxed them on day one of the Bassmaster Championship, and then did not wax them at all on day two.
They waxed you.
I left them unwaxed. I sent them out to Edwin and his live scope.
Let's see. We got some more questions over on YouTube. Either one of you can take this first. J Mac, great questions tonight, J Mac. We appreciate you. What range forward do you guys have the FFS set for?
Go ahead, Dan.
I run mine at around 70. I just keep it around that. I'll push it out to 80 if I feel like that I need to look a little bit further, but 70 usually gets me where I can't cast that damn far anyway. So,
it's hard to cast a crappie jig that far, boys.
That's right.
Yeah, damn wind blows it behind you.
I mean, I see all the fish, I just can't catch them. So I need to keep it at like 10.
He's just vertical jigging, floating fly out there. He's got that Del Hollow juice on him. What about you, Tyler?
Normal fishing, I run mine at 80 to 90. At night, I run it at 100 because I throw a big spinnerbait with it, and then you can cast an ounce spinnerbait 100 feet really easy.
Oh yeah,
I love that. Give me that first full moon in June on Chickamauga. Holler at me on that one. That's always a good time.
Now, you want to go to Del Hollow, holler at me.
I can't even say in the daytime, right?
Out of the times that I've been to Del Hollow, I don't ever want to go to Del Hollow.
Really?
So that's why, dude, I have not done worth a damn at Del Hollow. I caught a couple good smallmouth. The best day I had up there, I went out on the lake and I was trying to submit a fish, and it kept trying to resubmit all day. Caught my next fish, phone's dead from trying to submit that first fish, not having any service. And I was like, I'll be down. I was so mad. I plugged my charger back in and called Steve-O. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm out, because we took the door off the Airbnb and played beer pong on it that night.
Oh my gosh. You want to go night fish Del Hollow, holler at me. I will definitely take
I'll try anything once,
You'll probably catch 30 to 50 fish.
You bring the plug, I'll bring the DP. We'll get after it.
Disgusting.
Hey, we're going fishing in the dark, boys. Get
Chris
ready.
asked, this was kind of answered earlier, I think, for both of you. Chris on YouTube asked, what motor does Tyler have on his boat? You said XI3, right? Yes. All right. Already got answered there. Levi Schneider said he doesn't bring his Mirage Dive either. He's another big, large kayak angler, so maybe he doesn't want that thing in the way either.
What saved me is I remembered after paddling for 15 minutes and going backward, I still had my fish finder battery still had charge on it. So that's one advantage to running a 12-volt setup is I was able to take my fish finder battery off and hook it up and have enough juice to get back to the ramp safely. Thankfully, Joe, actually, you're never going to believe this. Joe McElroy was going to save me.
Oh,
Joe is usually the one getting saved. Joe was at the ready to come bail me out, thankfully. And he roasted me when I got back to the ramp. He's like, I was about to take a video of you, lunch money. He was cracking up. I seen you bobbing up and down in them waves out there. Oh, love it.
Good times out there. Bob Baylor said that Illinois Kush must be hitting hard tonight. Tell me about Bob.
Got it.
Who's holding? Who's holding?
Who's got?
Who's holding right here? Kevin or Kayvon Hawkins on Facebook tossing around forward-facing sonar. Am I correct to assume Spotlight?
Kayvon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said or Kayvon. I don't know which it is. I don't know this, man. I'm trying to be right.
There wasn't a tilde over the N. Yeah, it could be anything. Who knows?
Yeah. Kevin, whatever. He's holding two pigs there, it looks like. Spotlight a must? It's not a must, is it? Out there.
Somebody answer Kayvon. Is it a must or not?
No, it's not a must.
No, not at all. Not at all, Kayvon.
Jeff, you're the one with the Illinois Kush. We figured this out. Dang.
Kevan.
No, it was
Blame my
Ke.
mom, bro.
It was Kevan.
Oh,
I'm from Dayton, Ohio, man. We say Kayvon in those parts.
Ooh, boy. No, it's not a must. Kayvon or Kevin, however we want to go down this rabbit hole. You can use forward-facing sonar, with pedals. You could use it with a paddle. The trick is once you spot the fish, just maintaining your boat position while you're casting to those fish. Generally speaking, you're trying to watch your lure hit in front of them, and how they react to it is going to determine your retrieve. Like sometimes you can drop it and they'll chase it down to the bottom. You can speed it up or just mid stroll right in front of them. Or even, with the jerk bait, responding to the cadence of the jerk bait. So you just want to be able to stay on those fish and see it on your retrieve. And if anybody has an argument, feel free to throw that in there.
No, that's exactly.
I agree.
Comments got me
That better be
giggling.
the hashtag tonight.
Comments got me giggling and sweating over here. Sorry.
Oof.
I've got bad vision too. I can't see very well. Leave me alone. Dude.
Yeah, that was what the pronunciation was your vision.
No. Jeez. Somebody back me up.
You're out there on your own. You're bobbing out there in that water now, Jeff.
Paddle them back. I'm gonna stand by it. I'm standing by Kayvon. I don't care what y'all say.
Stand by, dude.
I can't wait to meet Kayvon at a tournament now and him come up and introduce himself. Hey,
I'm gonna buy him a beer. Me and Kayvon gonna hang out one night. Oh, jeez. Jesse England says Tyler is a hammer with without forward facing, just for the record, and that's the case with most folks, I would say, right? Because it's not magic. You got to be able to catch fish regardless.
Right.
I think, in kayak fishing, because again, it seems like we're always like 5 years behind the bass boat world. You are starting to see a bigger separation on the bass boat side, and it seems generational. It's like the younger fishermen, because they've grown up on it. Naturally, they're going to be better. They're coming out. The video gamers, they're coming out and locking in on this stuff a lot faster than the old timers that may be reluctant to adopt the new technology or to pull off the bank or whatever it may be. I don't think it's necessarily a generational thing. I think anybody can do it, but just like anything else, you have to put that time in. Anybody can learn it if they want to. The fish don't know how old you are when you're when you're looking at the screen, but I think you definitely see the younger generation, they're more open-minded to adopting the new technology.
For sure. Yeah. I think also, like Tyler's got a couple of years on that scope, and it shows that it pays off with experience, like more time you put in, the reward you're going to get, for sure.
You see a lot of, and I'll use Ewing again as an example with the forward-facing sonar, but a lot of, these collegiate anglers that are crossing over into their adult fishing career, the success that they're having stepping in to the opens or the elites or wherever they land, because they've almost grown up on it. They were 17 and 18 when this stuff was really hitting mainstream. So they're 3 or 4 years into the learning curve. And Tyler, you, for instance, imagine where you're going to be in 3 or 5 years, continuing to evolve, learning, different tactics and how fish react to the different presentations using that forward-facing sonar.
Right.
And I think there's something else for the younger anglers that people don't talk about enough. Is if let's say you're a 13, 14-year-old kid and you get ate up with bass fishing, whether it's kayak or out of a boat or whatever. Never in the history of fishing or anything else has there been so much access to information to learn how to fish so fast. Like there's no way you could just go learn how to pitch and flip a jig or learn how to use a drop shot. Like you could eat that up on YouTube 24/7 and gain decades worth of knowledge fast. And people don't talk about that enough for this young generation that's in tune with that. I mean, that's all they do. They don't watch TV anymore. They watch YouTube, TikTok, whatever. I'm
still always watching YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
Just constantly, even though I might know the technique, it's like, oh yeah. Keep that in because you forget it if you don't use it, and you put yourself in that situation and it kind of clicks. And I don't know, I'm 46 years old, so shit up here doesn't work too well anymore. So
I forget stuff that I've done myself. Like if you look, looking back, you have memories pop up or whatever, pictures that you posted 7 or 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I threw a square bill and a swim jig. And 9 years ago, I cashed a lot of checks. And now I think I know all this shit. And I don't ever throw a square bill or a swim jig. And I'm like, what, What is there to be said for that? Are you learning or are you going backwards? Is there such a thing as too much knowledge? Do you ever think that you know too much and you dig yourself a hole?
Oh God, yeah.
I think it's more you lose confidence in a certain technique because you've learned something new.
I was going to say, I don't know that I lost confidence in either one of those, but I gained confidence in something else.
Right.
If you tell me you should throw a swim jig here, I'm like, hell no, baby, they're eating the jackhammer today. Like that's my thought process. And if you pull up on me at any time, I got a couple of them tied on. I may have a 3/8 and a ½ ounce. I may have a 1 ounce, but there's multiple hammers on deck at all time because I don't know. I've gained so much confidence in it. I'm too stubborn to tell myself that they're not going to eat it.
I think confidence baits roll in circles too. Like they come in and out of, you go a couple of years there for like 2 years. I felt like I couldn't get a jig bite. And then in the past year and a half, it kind of turned back on for me. So, stupid stuff like that, I feel like kind of recycles through time.
That was another thing is football jigs. There was never a time, 7 years ago when you didn't see me and I didn't have a football jig tied on. I wouldn't run a fish finder. I would pull up on a point in 30 feet of water and I would count how many seconds it took for that jig to hit the bottom. And that's how I knew how deep it was. If a fish bit it, that's how I knew a fish was there. That was my fish finder. And it's again, like we've complicated this game a lot more with all this technology.
Especially like, getting a bigger boat too. I carry so much crap that I'm just like, why do I need all this shit, man? Like I'm always consistently trying to downsize and then I end up with more shit in my boat. And how does that work? Like I've been able to like downsize some rods from like, I don't know, 14 to 8. But as far as tackle, it's like I gotta have it's part of me. Like at least I know I got it if I need it.
It's like a security blanket. It's a security. You almost get like anxiety if you don't have it out there with you, even if you're not going to use it, right?
And I'll probably won't ever throw half of the shit that I got on the boat. Like
I think that part comes from being burnt. When you fish a tournament and you thought the bite was one thing and it's the complete opposite, and you don't want to be caught on the water without your DT6 box or your topwater plug box or, whatever it may be. You don't want to leave the house not having it because you feel a little less dumb that you at least brought it with you.
Yeah. I mean, I got two crates of plastics and then 2 bags of plastics, It's stupid. And all the Plano Edge boxes in there. It's like, what the hell is all this shit going to do for me?
Ryan got so much plastic, he's got it on it for his flag on the back of his boat.
I do this. I do. I'll fish with like a Z-Man Ned rig bag hanging off my light pole as a safety flag. But I'll carry all this crap with me and I'll end up fishing out of the little black plastic bag I bought at the bait shop. Like that's my tackle box for the day. Is I'll run through whatever $100 grab bag I bought.
Yeah.
Well, we've been at it about an hour. We're not going to keep you guys very much longer. We sure appreciate you giving us your time. But this question from YouTube, J Mac over there, he's curious how the atmosphere at the tournament was and how the award went. And we brought you on here to talk about the native event, obviously, that you both did well in. Talk about, sell some people on the event itself and how the atmosphere was after the fact at the awards and things like that.
I'll let the champion go ahead.
Fantastic hardware. Everybody loves hardware. I mean, I've been in kayak fishing going on 2 years. And every Bass Nation event I've ever fished, I sit in the crowd going, man, one of these days I'm going to get one of those checks or a trophy. I mean, that's what you live for. To heck with the money. I want a trophy,
Trophy lasts forever, baby. You'll spend that money tomorrow.
That's right. But other than that, the guys are great. The people who put Vinny, who put the native event on, he was great. Steve Owens, they're always top notch tournament trail to fish with. Great camaraderie between the clubs. A lot of people know each other. If you're interested in fishing, come out and fish them. They're a blast.
And, Steve-O posted a picture that had him, Vinny, and AJ in it. AJ came and hung out at the awards as well. Anytime you see those guys on an event, it's a top-notch event. You know it's going to be ran well. You know you're going to be taken care of, and you know the anglers are going to be put first. And I think when you're investing money into anything, that's what you look for. You want to know that you're putting it into a good product, and you're going to get some return on the other end. And I think anytime you see any of those names on that list, you got it.
That's the Mount Rushmore of TDs. All they were missing was Duke Tran to show up. That's all they needed.
That was it. Just plug Duke in.
Yeah, I mean, I want to thank all the people behind the scenes as well for, making it run as smooth as it did. That was going to all these events and just meeting new friends, and it's been great for a couple of years. But that native event, thank you, Vinny. I can't wait. I think they got one coming up on Gunnersville in May, maybe, I think it is, he told me. So I'm going to try to make that for sure. And, of course, Sassy Dan and Steve-O, man.
Dan.
Love those.
Man. He just commented. Look at him go there.
You can't get away from Sassy Dan, man. He is Steve-O's right hand. Dan, he has stepped up and done so much stuff with Tennessee Bass Nation and helping out with Georgia Bass Nation, and a lot of the stuff that you see happening with the Bassmaster stuff is directly related, back to Daniel. He's on Steve-O's trusted board of advisors. His crazy ideas off of us at any time, day or night.
Bless him. Bless old Steve-O. Yeah, great show, man. Appreciate you guys giving us your time tonight, talking about the event, talking about scope, and talking about how to pronounce people's first names. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, seriously, thanks for coming on. I'm sorry I missed you guys at the tournament again. I didn't want to, but well, gotta watch that kid, man. I can't get enough of that. I'm the crazy dad hooping and hollering on the sidelines. Jeff asked about the show, and I said, dude, I don't even know if I have a voice left Monday morning. They're kicking ass and taking names down here, so I may have to get a tag in just to cover my voice on Monday.
Yep. All right, we'll let you guys slide out of here. I'm sure we'll see you again up on top of the leaderboards. Good luck at 10 Killer, Tyler, when you head over there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well
Thanks
done.
for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Take care, boys. We'll see you down the road.
Check you later.
See you.
All right. That was fun, man. Those guys were awesome.
Those
guys were awesome. And now it is time for the Z-Man giveaway. Before we do that, Ryan, I brought up Duke, and it made me think about Texas Bass Nation also kicked off this weekend, and our boy Matt Scotch took the gold down there.
Scotchy Scotch won it.
Scotchy Scotch on Ray Roberts. Christine went down and came in third. She had a big day. So
I saw the post, but honestly, I didn't look at. I didn't know if she was talking about a bass boat event or what happened. Congrats, Scotch. Good job, man. Congrats to Christine for third. I know I saw the post. I got talked into jumping into this event, so I wasn't sure what that was in reference to. So congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So let's do this giveaway.
We got people jumping this hashtag, Jeff.
What they got? They ain't gonna. Let me see what they put before I share it.
No, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy.
Y'all are tripping. Attention. Y'all are tripping if you didn't think I was doing this.
Dang, Duke said Scotch took on $5,500 in the Texas Bass Nation event. Welcome back, Scotch. Let's go.
Welcome back. Jeez. Yeah, my man Ben Huffman came in second, but Scotch had 93 inches, Ben 90, and then Christine came in with 87.5. 84 anglers showed up for the first Bass Nation event. How about that?
That's awesome. That's all. Man, dude, Duke running it, Bass logo on it. That's a recipe for success. You can't ask for too much more there. I cannot wait to meet Kayvon.
Man, I hope Kevin's a nice man, right?
LaShonda. You Arkansas folks, you guys are wild. I'll give you that.
Man, my man's got a sense of humor. I know he does. I can tell.
But he has to now after you've put his name on blast.
After I've blasphemed his name all over here. At least I didn't spell it the same. I mean, I spelled it like I thought it sounded.
Can you screenshot Tyler Phillips' face right now that's on his
Oh, it unfroze.
Oh, no. It looked like a really cool mustache and glasses. He's fixing it now. That's almost had you, Tyler. We almost had you.
Hey, Elvis Lee makes a good point while we're waiting on this giveaway. He never actually clarified how I was supposed to pronounce it.
And that's what I like is he didn't even argue with it.
Yeah.
Kayvon, can you provide the pronunciation in the comments, please?
Yeah, like spell it out with like dashes and such syllables.
Calvin Johnson, wasn't he? Didn't he play football?
Yeah, Megatron.
Yeah, he's here. He's
Appreciate you,
watching
Megatron. Appreciate you,
That's
man. He's
awesome.
retired, man. He's got something to
Yeah.
do. He's kayak fishing now.
Thanks for pulling up, Calvin. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Megatron, big fan. Big fan. We got a fair amount of folks still in the live, but not in the contest. But I'm gonna pull the trigger on this, Ryan. What do you say?
I think we got enough Kayvons in here. Stop it. Yes. Oh,
thanks,
great.
Mom. Sorry, Kayvon's mom. I mean, Kevin's mom. I'm sorry, man. I think he should just win the giveaway tonight.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I
go
think.
ahead. We'll send you some Z-Man stuff in 6 months.
Danny. Hey, look at there, Danny.
Yeah, don't even try that one. Do not.
I'm not saying his last name.
Danny, slide in the DMs and tell Jeff how to pronounce your last name before we embarrass ourselves more.
Yeah, sorry, J Mac. I was calling him Joe Mac I just kept thinking back to Uncle Joe for all this time, and it was not Uncle Joe. It was just J Mac over there.
Yeah. Turns out.
Woo, good time.
Wow, I'm glad I had that giant fishbowl margarita at dinner, Jeff. You made it worth
man.
it.
It was fun. I missed you last week, man. Jordan did a fine job stepping in, but I missed you last week. So
I'm sorry, buddy. I had to work at a national sales meeting, and I had to be myself in front of my coworkers. So I still have a job, believe it or not.
Hey, I'll be watching Wednesday, by the way. Jordan's next episode drops with the homeless fisherman from Road Dog and drops Wednesday. So go jump on the YouTube page.
He's back on the horse. Back on the horse.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well,
take it easy. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see you next week.